Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader and one of the co-coaches, or one of the many coaches at TradeGATEHub. Let me say, override and transmit. I'm just posting an order here. I apologize. Live trading at TradeView. Okay, it's an active day. We had earnings out this morning from Microsoft, Google, General Motors, Visa, EMPH, Texan, just like yesterday, all major best of breed companies that also will, as I said before, let me digress. It's the stocks that are driving the charts at the moment. You know, the futures are actually somewhat tame. They're in the middle and they're range bound within their own realm, if you will. But as I said, a lot of these stocks are acting, should note how they're acting, because stock like Microsoft, which is up $17, but Google, which is down 3%. Is it down 3%? Yeah, 2.92%. I did that in my head, by the way. I still have it. You know, you have to take note of these things, because as the VIX is right now, actually came down a little bit. What is it right now? 31. Wow. You have to make note of the subsequent pin action, not only in these best of breed stocks, and they are best of breed. Even this evening, you have Facebook and Apple. And, let me digress even further. The theme for the past week and a half, as well as it should be with the VIX at an elevated level, is to not really take a lot of overnight risk. It's not really worth it. As I said before, and I learned as well just going back to the YouTube videos. Actually, let me go with the TradeGATEHub right here. As I go over the YouTube videos, which can be found right here, this red button, the theme has been, let's wait. With the VIX over 30, and it should be, no matter if it's earnings season or not, it's better to take less risk in day trade, if you want to call it day trading. Or, it's not a really position market. Once again, I haven't taken any longer term positions. There was a couple of washouts today. This still just happened one right now. When I came on, the futures rallied like 30 handles out of nowhere, which I apologize was a little bit tardy, but if I handled your money, certainly you would understand. So with that being said is, first of all, I should be going through a routine, and a consistent routine, because that's what's best. It's most important. And I use all these sports analogies a lot of the time. For example, Steph Curry, he's a 96% free throw shooter. And granted, the majority of that time is at a contested at a high level when people are screaming at him. I'm sure he gets up to 97, 98% in the gym or his backyard, but he still takes 200 free throws a day. And that's why we have to go through a routine. And the best thing about it is, even when you go through the past videos of YouTube of mine and coaches, that we're very consistent in the order that we put the data, because it's hard enough as it is. As I said before, somebody had mentioned that, it's an intense, although I received the compliment this morning, it got good karma and good flow. It is intense. And you know what? It may be intense when you go to medical school. You know what I mean? But certainly things did today. Coach buying the SM. I didn't look at the 9:30 video. And I want to say is another thing to Coach. I mean, please go back to all the videos this week, including the call on the SMH and the coaches called on crude and the dollar. I feel like when I come up and do the video, I'm coming on. It's giving me a complex. Like I'm coming on stage after Barbara Streisand here. So that's okay. I can handle it. I've followed a couple of rock stars in my day. But the bottom line is, go back to the YouTube video. That's our DNA. That's what that's what we do. So let's get back into our daily routine before I get into any live or trades that happened today. As I said before, the data is even in, I might, by the way, so impressive, this TradeView chart. Sure is, especially now. Yeah, it is. The TradeView data, or the data that I put out in the room. You could also go to the stock indices room, which is only my data that I put out the stocks. Obviously, Coach puts out data here, but this is the hot room, if you will. Okay, so let's start with what's going on today. Okay, a couple of good questions that I always said I answered overnight. That's my sign in saying how good I am, and I'm going to stop getting redundant with my normal routine, because we're picking up a lot of viewers. So as I start to maybe weed out the routine and saying, yeah, home builders, I'm not sure yet. I got the Zillow. I'll give you a second, Coach. Every time that somebody signs in, if anybody hears it, it automatically goes back to the question. So I have to keep scrolling up to the beginning, if you will. I don't know if that's something we could work on off camera. But the bottom line is this, coming into today. Always watch the video. It's 5 to 6 minutes of videos. I watch it. I'm not alone in this. It's an important thing. Robinhood, that was not a shocker, but what was a shocker is about how many people are wrong lately. And I'll even get to this guy's even wrong as well. Is this the share screen? Even the ASAN CO. I bought some today. I'm in it right now. I said enough is enough. Look at the ASNCA. This guy right here. He bought 1 million shares. He bought $1 billion worth of stock. And trust me, go through the article at an average price of like 60. And I'm trying not to look at it now because then I'll get distracted. And this guy's down. You know what? I sold a little bit, but that's a Asan got the 28. Okay, Asan. This is where this is where the Asan. And I mean to make a point here, because for the first time and in some time I can remember, if at all, the insiders have been way off. These hood people, the hoodlums, they were stepping up and they were buying. Listen, I'm going to go through it or go through the past videos, but they were seriously buying stock. I believe it was like 18 to 20. It was around Christmas time. I remember it was 18 to 20. Stocks at $9, and going back today, they cut 9% of their workforce. So insiders are wrong. The ASN guy. And I bought it because actually, I'm not willing to do anything right now. Listen, I got involved in a couple of speculative things, no problem. I'll work out of it. But I got into some things involved in anything that I'm doing right now is going to be that I'm confident that I'm going to hold no matter what, especially when we're at these compressed levels. I'm not looking to speculate here. The Asan CEO, here's Asan. The guy's buying right here, 58. He's down 600 million in 3 weeks. In all due respect, this guy probably needs a TGH password if the guy's got 600 million. So I don't mean to make a joke of it. Obviously, he knows what's going on better than anybody, but it gives you, it even tells you more so that even the insiders have been wrong, and they've been wrong in many counts. That what's going on in the bond market and what's going on a geopolitical level trumps what's going on beneath the walls of the of the company, or however you want to articulate it. Let's go back to TGH. I want to get into some more sexy things, if you will. Okay, so I wanted to say that this guy right here, he's down at 600 million in 3 months. That's the TradeGATE website. Robinhood. Let me see if I'm sharing it properly. I am. Okay, Jim Cramer. This was important. Microsoft was fine. Google getting some used to, and CMG is nice. So aren't those the best of breeds in their respective area? They are. So this is where we started the day, and this is short-term tactical sentiment. And if anybody's been watching any videos, please go back. Sentiment is the one thing that normally you cannot count on, because in these, when stocks and the VIX is above 30, things get oversold and overblown. That's why everybody's in positions. Nobody really knows. It's a day-to-day thing, and the rotation has just been wild. So S&P futures came in here today. They were down 38 or 30 handles. So they were pinned. Excuse me, pardon me. Well, I've been up. So that's where they are now. Nasdaq, same thing. I said they would be off the page if it wasn't for the oils, or Nasdaq, they would be off the page. This was the S&P. S&P would be off the page if the oils weren't strong yesterday. Credit default swap. This is the issue. I'm sure Coach talked about it. Fear and greed. All right, for the fear and greed to go from 2 weeks, from 50 to 25, I mean, these are big moves. And like I said, we had a question from my man this morning about the REITs. It's depending on the pullback. Here we are on technology, semiconductors. They're still down on the day. Oil producers. You know what I mean? So anytime you have oversold or overbought sentiments, always go to the best of breeds. Today it's Microsoft or Google, whether they're up or down. Yesterday, who was it? It was Archer Daniel Midland. It was Pepsi. Go look at GE. What it's doing today. Coach asked me about the home builders right now. DHI, which is one of the best ones, went from positive. Here's the answer about this one. Here's your answer about DHI. DHI came out with earnings. It was looking nice. It went from 76 to 70. It went from bullish to bearish in actually less than 24 hours. So here's DHI. So, you know what I mean? I don't know if, it's like, there's KBH weekly. That's the weekly. I don't even want to look at the daily. So they're both, KBH is broken on the weekly and the daily. I apologize. I've been up since 4 a.m. and it's right now 11:15 Eastern. It's only because I've been doing a lot of research and trading. New share, getting back to TGH, JP Morgan's top energy picks. I did say I liked, hold on. I did say I liked run. I did say I liked Sunrun. The euro fails to its lowest gains, lowest against the dollar. Now, we're not talking about, like Wendy's having a bad couple of quarters. We're talking about the euro against the dollar. It's the lowest in 2017. The coach and I have been talking on and off camera how we've been seeing a lot of firsts, but something is a major financial pair and instrument. It's got to be in the top 5 to 10 that's making a move since 2017. And you have to think it goes even beyond COVID, even to the 2008. Oh, horrible. So that's a hell of a sample size for something to be doing that. Another important point. This has been the worst month for the Nasdaq since 2008. You want to talk about a sample size? That's what? 14 years. 14 years the worst Nasdaq, and we've been through a lot more than geopolitical moves, and we've been through crises and breakdowns through that. Okay, going forward, quite a status, right? The S&P year-to-date performance is now worse than it's been in at least the last 30 years. Okay, but the bottom line is we're looking forward. So we got that out of the way. Upgrades and downgrades always important. If I'm posting things from Walter Bloomberg, then go to Walter Bloomberg, and maybe his Twitter feed is just as important. It is, by the way, because Walter Bloomberg is probably one of the top 3 that I would have to have if I was in the proverbial desert island, 500,000 followers. So Walter Bloomberg is one of our guys. TradeGATEHub. Yesterday's listen. Where regardless of where the ranges on the futures, and I'll get to look at it in a second because I don't want to get distracted. This is really what it boils down to. And yesterday's winners and losers were raging volley. Part again. Okay. So these are the losers yesterday. Nothing with really outstanding volume. PTGX. I'll look at it later. I wasn't interested in anything in here. Red box. These have been all low floaters. Let's look at the gainers because it was a big mover yesterday. NUTX. This was the #1 mover yesterday in terms of average volume and average price. So what I also pointed up here later is that, did I post this? Just to remind everybody, it was a hot stock. I should probably wait till I go to the charts. But BRCC, USD, Texan, SMH. We'll get to the SMH in a second. If the coach didn't always do it already, good vibes. Appreciate New York. PDD, where is it? NTUX, now the hot stock, the now stock. So let's look at NUTX yesterday. Not only was it a part of the what I post every day, which is really what I make a living on regardless. And somebody reminded me today that there have been so many styles have been thrown around lately: swing trade, long-term, contra, just maybe 1, max 2 styles. And I got reminded that I'm going to stick to it. You get reminded, everyone, it's a profession. You have to work at it. Stick to a couple of styles. And like I said, we believe we're in, TradeGATEHub. We give you a lot of styles to coach myself. So like I said before, we're giving you the tools. It's up for you to hone your craft. It's up to anybody just to do that. So here's NUTX, hot stock today. So NUTX, probably bought it on the opening deck, 850 to 1050. So even if you didn't care about Microsoft or Google or Facebook, a stock like this that yesterday has, and by the way, this was the best part, when it had the move, and I missed it. It has it in it. It has the 2-day moves. But right here, let me get this thing off here. It had the move here, big volume, or actually had the better volume, and it had the move again. So yesterday it had a range from 5 to 15. So you know what? It finished in the middle of the range yesterday, and it actually closed above it, so that it never broke below yesterday's close. That was a positive. So you concentrate. I mean, granted, it did a nice print up, so it's breaking down now, though. How you doing? So that was another one, NUTX. Getting back to TradeGATEHub before I get back to my primary screen and really. Okay. Now, Coach, bottom line is we've been talking about the SMH and the semiconductors for a couple of reasons. Coach liked the chart on the SMH. And also, if you go all to it's like the perfect worlds collided for, if you want to call it. And the SMH, even for oversold, semis are right here. So the SMH this morning, we're going to look. We were talking about how yesterday it was over 235 and we thought we missed it. And coach didn't think we did. It closed around 234, 234, 234 SMH. Yeah. And 227 now SMH. You know what? This was the call. This was the chart. And we were saying how 230, I thought that the SMH, it's a major, especially Texan. I got to go to the chart now because now we're getting into the cool stuff. Texan was down $16 at one point, and Texan is the IBM, if you will, of our day and age. So Texan had a range from 160 to 168. Now I was literally thinking in the shower. Here's Texan's long-term chart. Literally, hold on, share. Literally thinking about Texan in the shower. I don't know if that's good or bad. I should be thinking of other things, but I'm not 16 anymore. There's 160, the double bottom, had earnings. So 160, Texans stopped at the 160 strike price and then went up from there. And then all the other semis went. I'm saying to myself, you know, this Texan is keeping the SMH down. So the SMH, if coach didn't talk about it, I'm going to go watch the 9:30 video. Went through that 228 is where I liked it. Actually got lucky and did the double bottom at 226, now sitting at 228. If it gets over 230, and I don't know what coach said, and I'm sure it's similar to mine. If it goes over and retests that break on volume with that 230, might want to add to it. I know it's a contra trade, but you know, it is a winner if it's over 230, and we want to, you know, it's a winner. Freaking coddle the winner. You know what I mean? Getting back to TGH. We're rolling now. Thanks, Gerard, about the video. Always ask questions, man. Okay. What else going into this morning? CRISPR. I think CRISPR, and I like Natello. This crisp is one I think you can put away, but it doesn't look like now. It's still down in the day. Lewis, you're hot. Not going to lie to you. Turn the corner. You keep going. I'm going to have you on a guest. XBI. I'm not worried. I'm not sure yet. Did I miss anything on the XBI? Here's the chart on the XBI today. No. I'd be aggravated with the XBI. Right now, it's down 28 cents. The market's had some nice moves. XBI did have nice volume yesterday. It's not time yet for the XBI. I want to take a position in biotechnology. Some of the bios that I'm in, my biggest losers, if you will, in the fund are bios. I believe in biotechnology. It's not like I'm holding McDonald's, or actually McDonald's I wouldn't fault. There's some tertiary or second tier stock. I believe in bios, but here's the weekly on the bio on the XBI. I don't know yet. Certainly the volume's coming in, and when the volume's coming in, you get paid in the long term, but I haven't seen that still final flush on the XBI. I know a lot of people ask about that, and I want to buy it too. I'm itching. But the good part is we haven't owned it, and we're not adding to it if we did. What else? Hello from New Jersey. We had everybody around the world this morning. And you know what? We do videos every day, so I can afford to, at least time-wise, to comment on it. We had Singapore, we had Austria, we had New Jersey. I won't hold it against it. New Jersey. I watched New Jersey Housewives last night. It was a reunion. Great show last night, Michael. Boeing reported. Let's look at Boeing. Lewis had the trade. The old Lewis would have bought it. And this was just a slow bleed down. It was bad news. It was in the wrong sector. And here's Boeing. Ooh, look at the Boeing now. Here we go. This is interesting. But it was, it opened, closed at 167. Only opened $5, had a slow bleed down to 145. Did the most green bars it had with volume around 10:30 time turnaround 147 to 155. Right. You had to be on. Listen, this is a FOMO market. There are a lot of trades. You could have been trading 20 different things. You can't catch everything today. How can you catch Boeing like that when you have Microsoft to have a range? Google, Visas, it was up $16. Visa. So Visa's made a move from 201 to 220. And I said, no, I wish it was a little bit at the high. It's hanging in there. And it's, by the way, it's Visa. You want it, I don't care what it is, they could sell widgets. There's the range. And Visa is actually, after opening up $15, is actually holding the opening print, which is positive for the macro term. I'm not saying I was chasing today for a back and fill type of thing. There's the chart. You have EMPH, Skechers, by the way. I had so many calls going on the Jesus feed on Skechers, and I was afraid to take it. I wanted to gamble in the active account just with some binary calls, but I did the right thing, and I didn't do it, and it's up. But you know what? Next. But I will note that it had a lot of the calls going off on the Jesus feed. PayPal. Where is it? All right, PayPal. Here's our trades for today. It's not a long-term trade yet, but we did buy it on the open and we posted it. PayPal. Here was our buy. Actually, I bought it before the market opened. It's going lower now. Good sale though. I bought it again, sold it. I want to do it. It's a low PE. I get it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what PayPal yet. I bought and sold it, and whatever I got out of it. What else? Netflix, no bottom. Okay, I'm a contra trader, and as everybody knows, I have a thick skin. Wouldn't think about it yet. Doesn't mean it's the bottom yet. Netflix, I think about it maybe 180. To even start it, I don't even have it. But if I'm going to think about Netflix, I'm not thinking about Netflix. Maybe I'll play something else on pin action. What else? Let's look at some follow throughs from yesterday. Archer Daniel Midland. We shorted that on the open. How'd that do? ADM had huge range yesterday. There you go. One day up, one day down. Archer Daniel Midland. Huge range, huge volume for that stock. CF, same thing. Holding the 50-day. I'm going to go today's action in a second. GE was down 11 yesterday, right? There you go. You got to be happy like that. That if you shorted a stock and you held to the system and the stock that had range, volume, and good price action, meaning it was a dog. As a matter of fact, you probably could have traded well today. It shook people out. $2 range on GE, but just to show you, so you can't be afraid to take these breakdown stocks, especially when even Helene said it. Stocks that make a negative reverse split are always negative. It's negative when they do the reverse when a split. Even Amazon. Rich, remember that? Amazon had the split. Never had an update since. There's Amazon. And by the way, I did mention in TGH here, calls were starting to go off. And I do want to point it out to our viewers. By the way, I did say run is interesting here at 20. Keep a note. Let me note the Amazon calls. I'm not saying it's the bottom. Zen, hold on. Amazon, this was what, about an hour ago. They started to have some in the money, April 22nd. No sound. Why didn't somebody tell me that? Hold on. Do I have sound, everybody else? Everybody, can you hear? Coach? Do I have sound, everybody else? I'm sorry, Miss Sarah. I hope it's not just you. Well, that would be a shame. Hold on a second. You have sound now? Sound? All right, I'll have to keep going. All right, I guess I'll leave it at there. If everybody's out, I need a little bit of help with the sound. Production team, who's there? It's okay, Lewis, you can hear? Okay, let's get back to it then. Production issue. All right, Amazon calls were going off, like I said. So where's Amazon? Let's share my screen. Just to let you know, when I noted that, which was like an hour ago, if you could see, and this is our Amazon, when they started to nibble, this was the low, 227.20. See that chart? Go back an hour, and we'll go back to TGH, and that's where the options started to go off. So I said, thank you, Lewis. So I said, Amazon's calls going off, time to nibble. I just sold something at a nice price. The market's flying. BWB, lithium, Carvana. I just sold some Carvana. Asan going up. Something's going up in a dramatic way. Carvana, QS. All right, well, you know what? Thank you, Lewis. Let's get back to what's going on right here. Any questions? I got to get back to the screen. I'm sorry, Sarah. Hopefully you got your screen back. This is where I am today. Got to get to the action. All right. Where's ES? 4209. The levels, they look like they're going higher. Okay. So let's go back to the week on our levels, right? 4150, 4200 is the number, right? 42. Let's go back. 4200. We got to get above this 40. So here we are. We could break this down trend signal right here. Anybody have any questions? Sound is okay. Thanks, G. Gerard, do you have any questions? Thanks, Gerard. Where's the NTNX? Not doing anything. TTD. Let me go to this. The market's rallying as you speak. I did take a position in Carvana. Now I'm up in it. I'm up a couple of thousand. I was early in Carvana. Here are my buys here on Carvana. I started buying. First of all, I sold Carvana. Was up. What made me to buy Carvana at the beginning was it was up it was up initially on the day with some volume. So I'm like, all right, so there's a little smoke there. So Carvana closed at 70 and a half. At one point, it was 76. So at one point, Carvana was up 6. So I'm saying, all right. So then I started buying Carvana at 67. I'm nibbling at this thing. Like it got as low as 64. So now I have 2,600 Carvana. I'm long it from 65. This is the long-term chart. You know, I don't know if I'm going to hold it. I mean, this is, hold on, let me take off my trades, chart parameters, my triangles. This is the chart on Carvana. All right. G thinks I'm a good swing trader. I appreciate that. This is one of them. And the only reason why I would even think about a Carvana trade is the volume. I mean, anybody that's long this thing, it's down. Thank you, Miss Sarah. Any questions? I'll make it up to you. This is, I mean, from 400 to 66. I know you could have thought that here or here, but anytime the volume comes in, that's short, that's fear. That's capitulation for me. It's up to it. Now let's look at ASN. This thing has got to go for me now. Now I'm long 8,000 ASAN, and I started buying the same thing in ASAN. Where's my trades on it? I might even buy more now as we're on the air. ASAN, where did I start buying it? And by the way, you have to have, you should be buying best of breeds, but stocks like this get washed out. ASAN, I'm saying, all right, this is my long-term chart here. I said, enough is enough. I said, if the CEO is losing 600 million at 57 or $58 a share, especially when I was a little bit gung-ho towards the Nasdaq, especially when I saw some of these Amazon calls going off. Let me go to my other screen. Well, actually, let me show you where I started buying it today, and then go to the main page. ASAN. I mean, it started saying enough is enough at 27.50, as low as 27.12. You know, I would like to go back on change to 28. I might add to it and try to go for a score. Score, I don't like that word. Keep in mind, one day doesn't make reversal, and it might not be the best stock to do that with. What else am I? What did I mean to say? PayPal. If I look at the screen, I get distracted, so I don't mean to be rude. I look at this, 1,000 things go to my Asana. I'm in it. Here's my Asana. I'm long 8,000 shares from 24.60. I like it. It's the first time I bought it. Here it is. You know, I would like it to, if the stock goes unchanged with volume, ASAN, I'd like to have more volume here. I would, but I like the volume it had coming into it. Listen, there are better ones. There are better ones than that. Of Asana. Apple, Microsoft is doing AMD. I want AMD to do better. I need Micron to turn around with volume. It looks like it's doing a doji. I need AMD. I need AMD to have heavy volume. It looks like it's headed there. It's doing a doji. It's at 85, but you know what's going to really matter? This. Let me go to stock scanner. This is all that really matters right here. Up high in relative volume. Am I sharing the right one? Up high in relative volume. Bottom line. Okay. Mattel is a takeover target. We're not interested. EMPH. That was an easy trade. But where's Gerard? He knows this EMPH. Oh, actually, this came in a little bit. EMPH, that's a bad sign. Okay. Visa hanging up near the high. What's near the high? We need stocks near the high right now. Breakout on the day and time. SHW, FSIV, Hasbro, Microsoft breaking out on the day. Good. T-Mobile's good on that's a good sign. I would like to see more of these good stocks. BLI, Chinese stocks breaking high. Skechers at earnings. You know what I mean? What's recovering. Let's look at recovering for the day. Nothing really good. Nothing that I want to see. Moving up now. Let's see what's moving up in the last. AIG Delta's moving up. Texan, it went positive. That's a big thing for semis. Texan going positive. I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of them followed. Now, what happens here is this is one of my screen for stocks moving up now, and you see when a couple of things blink, that's a good sign for, Colgate's breaking high. It's not that big of a deal. HST is breaking high. Hotels, CTVA. I wish it was Carvana. Let's see what the wise guys are doing at the moment. Let's see if they're adding. You know what I would love to see when I go on here? If they were adding to those calls that they first started doing in the morning. That would be confirmation for me, just as a trade still. So let's go to what they're adding to. Okay. Fear and greed is still low. It's on our side. STEM. The STEM has been all day long, this STM. It's a small STEM cell. We're going to have to write that down on our pad, by the way, because this feed that I have on with option flow doesn't usually post these small $7 stocks. As everybody follows the macro Jesus feed or the public one, I'm going overboard here. He doesn't really post those ones. KBH puts. That's not good for home builders. KBH bearish. PDD bearish. Qs are bullish. SPYs are bullish. Weight Watchers. I was long that one. Don't have an interest. Weight Watchers. TDOC. Lewis will like that one. TDOC, not interested. So nothing really. You know what? These aren't really names within the last half an hour since I've been on that I like. PayPal is bearish. FU. CCL. Carnival Cruise Lines. Nothing big part of me. IQ bullish. Blah. TDOC. Weight Watchers. SPYs and some SPYs and some Qs. That's it. Stocks have probably already made their move. Here we go, though. Helene just said something. This is important, and this is bullish. Helene just said it 9 minutes ago. The put-call ratio is off the charts. Everybody's bearish buying puts. Boy, folks don't like the action in today. All right. You know what? You buy fear, don't you? But buy stocks that you want to be in the next day or two. You don't buy a low floater you might get bagged in, and it just dies out of volume, and you're stuck there as the good ones go up. That's not what you do. Don't look for short squeezes. I might be a little bit hypocritical in this Carvana, but it's not a low floater. So it's still a company. I'm not buying a $6 stock with a huge short float. I wouldn't be stuck in those ones. OST, ITP, Zen, by the way. See the Zen? And I'll leave it at this. One of the first things I posted in the room this morning was Zen. First. Let me go back. Boeing, newly built Dreamliners. No, okay, that's good. SMH is turning off the line. Where's SMH? If SMH is over 230, then I really got to go. Coach, the line in the sand is 230. It's even pulling here a doji. You're the expert, right, Coach? Isn't that a doji? So I'd like that, and I'd definitely like it to go to 240 strike at least to go to the 8-day. I'd like to go to 240. That's a trade to be. Listen. What's Micron doing? It's got to go positive. MU's got to give. MU's has to have more. What's Western Digital doing? That's Gerard's one. All right, Western Digital. That's good. What's Marvell doing? One. Marvell. All right. It's hanging in there. They already sold it a little bit on the pop, which was a little bit worrisome. But I would have sold it too. It was up $3. You know what I mean? ON Semiconductor. Same thing. These. They're separating these. It's not all semis in the pool. They're separating a little bit, but I'll leave it at that as we approach 11:40. Any other questions? By the way, I'll share this again. You don't really have to go to the list. It's right here on TradeGATEHub. Stocks. Here we go. It's all here with the chart. This is what I'll do now. Top US gainers. Very simple. What's percentage change? So I look at hopefully one of mine is on there. DWAC, AKLA. So let's look CYN. Go right here to TradeGATEHub and punch up the chart. It's beautiful. These guys do a great job. So if I were to get back, and when I would, because I eventually want to get away these couple of the sites and what do they call it thing? Consolidate. So I look top US losers, percentage change. All right, NCR's up there. I go NCR. What's that doing? Boom. Good call. All right, I'll leave it at that, guys. Cheers for everyone. What's coming out tonight? Facebook, besides Facebook and Apple, nothing short squeeze for a week. That would be nice. That would be nice. We have Facebook and what? Apple as much as a page of others. So, have a plan. Don't let your trades turn into positions unless you're willing to hold, or it's a good company. Stay with good companies. Believe me, I got a couple of mosquito bites I got to work over. But until then, have a good day. Have a plan. Thank you for tuning in, and leave all questions. I'll be back in a little while. As I say, BRB. Thanks. Cheers.